Halloween is over, but you're all still thinking about horror movies, either because you're a high school teacher and enjoy seeing teenagers get what they deserve.
You have nothing to worry about. This won't hurt. One little bit.
Or Netflix has provided you with a tidal wave of them. Today we're here to talk about the remake of one of my favorites, A Nightmare on Elm Street. You see, I saw the original when it first came out. For the time, it was a fantastic scare ride filled with great practical effects and starring one of the most creative and fun movie monsters of all time, Robert Englund. Now you might ask how a woodland creature with a lifespan of only 10 years was alive in 1984. You see, I am currently 4, but in rabbit years I'm 40, so by my math I was actually born in 1973. And since rabbits mature much faster than humans, I was allowed to see R-rated films at the tender age of 11. With the semantics out of the way, let's discuss why the remake of Nightmare is completely horrible and all copies should be burned so the film can be forgotten forever. Number 1. Freddy is not a pedophile. This is a big one for me. Yes, when the original script was written, Craven intended him to be a child molester, but then sense kicked in, and West decided child murderer would be much more tasteful.
You want to know who Fred Krueger was? He was a filthy child murderer who killed at least 20 kids in the neighborhood.
If you can consider such a thing tasteful. But the truth was, there had been a lot of reported cases of such acts at the time, and he saw the issue was too hot button to make a movie about. This is where the remakers probably said, hey, let's do what Wes intended. Let's make Freddy how he was supposed to be.
She takes us to the secret cave.
It's okay. It's all right.
And you see, this is where they lose me. Even if they wanted Freddy to be that, they could have been more subtle about it. Even the first movie was a little more coy about what Freddy did. In this remake, they just come right out with it and throw it in our face every chance they get.
Your memories are what fuels me.
No, please don't.
Your mouth says no. But your body says yes. Don't turn away. Look at me!
You might argue that child killing is worse than molestation, and I would agree, but neither is something that needs to be discussed in detail. The remake goes as far as to show us flashbacks and photographs implicating Freddy's dirty deeds. The original just throws in a few sexual nods.
What are those? What are those pictures of?
They're all of you.
And this leads me to number 2. Freddy had a sense of humor. What makes Freddy both completely sadistic and yet likable is his sense of humor.
You've got the body. I've got the brain.
He was fun to watch. His murders were both grisly and hilarious in their own right. Obviously, this carried on more in the sequels, but the original had its fair share of Freddy humor. This remake washes all that out. Freddy's enjoyment of the kill is more sexual.
How's this for a wet dream?
And while that might fit the new tone of the movie, the child molester backstory just makes it unpleasant to watch. I guess you got me there. Horror really isn't supposed to be pleasant.
Here I come.
Number 3, the special effects. If I have to even explain why this is way better than this, then you need to have your head evaluated. CGI will never look better than practical, and this is a very clear case of how it actually takes away from the scene. Yeah, we all know that a head coming out of the wall is fake. And it's still creepier than this mess. Reason being is that it has some base in reality. I'll take 500 gallons of fake blood over this junky CG any day. But that's an ant in the carrot patch. The real eagle is the makeup. Or the lack thereof. What the hell is this? They couldn't even spring for some prosthetics? They say it's a mix of the two. But all I see when I look at this face is a waste of a budget. I don't need Freddy to look like a real burn victim, I need him to look threatening. To be honest, this Freddy looks like he rides the short bus. At least the original was the driver. Last but not least, number 4. Jackie Earle Harvey is not Robert Englund. This might seem pretty petty, but seriously, Robert had charm, charisma, and hilarious one-liners. Jackie is just stale. He's in full Rorschach mode, grunting his way through the performance.
This dress was always one of my favorites.
I don't even know if I consider talking in a raspy voice as acting. Maybe he should play Batman instead of Ben Affleck.
Answer me! No. Do you think you can bring the dead back to life?
No. No!
No! I didn't fucking think so.
Joking aside, he just sucks all the personality out of the character. He's not scary either. Even with Robert's over-the-top performance, Freddy was at least freaky.
Souls of the children, give me strength.
This is just... ugh.
And after the heart stops beating, the brain keeps functioning for well over 7 minutes. We got 6 more minutes to play.
So that's all I got for you. I could go into detail about how all the remakes of the kill scenes are, well, lacking. But I'm a rabbit, so I don't have a lot of time. By my math, I've already spent 2 days on this subject, so on to the verdict. As you may have guessed, I'm not too fond of this movie. On a scale of yeesh, niche, or nosh, it lands a big fat nosh. But what do I know? I'm just a rabbit. Until next time, this is Review Rabbit reminding you to never go into the locker room shower alone.
How do you like that, Dad?
Just say